Hey everyone, it's EJ here. Today I'm just going to be going over a tutorial for the character creator. I know a few people have been asking for this to be done, so I thought I would take some time today to actually go through and talk about some of the species and the genes for each one. So if you haven't created a character, the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to pick a region, your species, and what gender. So just for example, I'm just going to pick the Asmundr, the Jaro, and female, just to give you an example. So each region has a different picture. So you can go through and pick the one you like. I would also like to mention that you can see what each region is, what features are going to be unique to each feature, or to each region, sorry, by going to the regions page, and there's a link there that will show you descriptions of each one. For this, let's see what we're going to pick here. I always go for Asmundr, just because it has that pretty waterfall on the back. So we'll start off with the Jaro, since that's the first one on the list, and I'm going to pick female. So now what you're going to see are all these different series below. So each series is something different, of course. So first off, I want to start off by mentioning the dominant and the recessive genes. So the first one that we have here is we have AA. That is a recessive black. That is going to make sure that the character itself is completely black. Another gene that's going to make a character completely black is the capital K series. So KK, that is going to be a black character. So both of them are set to black right now. So we have this set at EE. So this is the extension series that includes the masks. If we change this to lowercase ee, this is going to be recessive red. So no matter what, if these two are selected here, red is going to take priority. So we'll just take that off. And I'm going to put that down to the lower KK. So now we can play with the agouti locus here. So if we go to AW, this is an agouti character. So anything starting with AW is going to be agouti primary. So that's the image that you're going to see. The secondary locus here, so you can see it's AWAS. That means it's still going to be agouti, but it's also going to carry the gene to pass down the saddle characters. So here you see the saddle image here when I pick ASAS. So if you want a character that is going to, let me see here. So for instance, again, it's a saddle character, but you have AT. So AT is your point system. And then you have your AR, which is your reverse points, which you can see that just kind of put everything back. So where it was black, it's now red. Where it was red, it's now black. So I'm going to leave it on the agouti because that's my favorite. And then we're going to go over to the B series. So the B series is your liver dilute. So capital BB, that means it does not have any liver. If you go to this one here, capital B, lowercase b, it means that there's no liver, but it also has the gene to pass on that it could possibly have liver. So lowercase bb, that is liver. So now you can see that we have a liver agouti dog. Now, working with the liver series, if you go over to the dilution series, which is DD, this means that there's no dilute. Capital means it's not there. So if we change it over to lowercase dd, this is now an Isabella character with the liver and the blue working together. And if we remove the liver, it is now a blue character, which is the blue dilute. So I'm going to take both of those off. I'm just going to make it a standard black base with the agouti. And we're going to go over to the E series. So EM, this is going to give you a black mask. Or in the event that you have a liver character or a blue or an Isabella, it will give you a mask of whatever color you pick. So as you can see here, you have the option for EME and EM lowercase e. So what that means there is that the lowercase e on the end, it can be a recessive red. But of course you can't have, it can pass on recessive red, but it can't have a mask and be recessive red at the same time. See, the mask is gone, and you just get that little bit of black right there just around the nose. So I'm going to leave the mask on. And there comes back our agouti and the mask. Now this is going to be your intensity series over here. So right here, that's going to be your regular intensity. So that is going to be a red pigment dog, the IR capital. So again, anything that starts with capital IR is going to be a red character. Oops. Except when we get down to this one here. So this is IRIW. So this is going to give you a, let me see here. This is going to be a tan dog. So instead of the red, you have the tan. And then we go down to ITIT, which is also a tan dog. And we have ITIW. And this one here is a cream. And IWIW is a white pigment. So you can pick your intensities there. Myself, I always like to go for the cream. And you can see it will also give you a cream base when you change the liver series and the dilute series. Now, if we go back to the dominant black series, as soon as we put that capital K, again, we're going to get a black dog. So I'm going to leave it at lowercase kk for now so we can actually see the images, and we'll go back to capital K later on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the Nyala series. So with the Nyala series, you have no change there. So capital N means nothing, and then NY means Nyala gets passed on, and F means fallow spots get passed on. So if we go to lowercase NY, you're going to see the Nyala stripes right here appear on the back of the Jaro. And again, you're going to see the Nyala stripes here, but it also can pass on fallow spots. So the only thing is, where they're on the same series, you cannot have both markings at the same time. It's either Nyala, fallow, or none. And I'll show you what the fallow spots look like. So it's kind of like a deer marking that you would see on the comic as well. So I'm going to leave the fallow spots on, and then we're going to get over to the caribou markings. So CB, that is going to give you caribou back. So that is the white neck, the white shoulder, and this little white stripe right here. Again, you're going to have caribou back, and then you're going to have caribou stripe. And then you're going to see this little black stripe appear right here. It's kind of hard to see on the darker agouti, so let me switch that down here. You can still see it just a little bit right there. And then you can have just the stripe itself. So there's the stripe with no caribou back. And then there's the stripe gone. So for this, I'm just going to have the stripe. So that black stripe right there. Now what I'm going to do, where we're getting over to the wild markings, this is going to be a bit different. So remember what I was talking about, the capital K? We're going to click capital K, and then we get a black dog with the fallow spots. Now this is important here. Only white will appear on the wild marking series or on the dominant black. And we have it appearing on the AA as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select some wild markings. So WK stands for king. So the reason that you can only see this king, it covers up most of the markings, is because king is actually a full body marking and only certain markings can appear over it, which is why you're only seeing the white. And then below this, we're just going to have WK, which is king again, and then WC. So that's caribou. And then you have WKWB1, that is wildebeest, and WKWB2, wildebeest 2. So because it has the WK, that's all you're going to see is the king marking. And of course the WKW. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get over to the caribou marking. So you see here that the base has changed to the caribou marking. Again, this is a full-bodied marking, so you're only going to see the white appear on it. Now, here's the thing about this. Only certain white markings will appear on this. So here you will see the caribou back, but no caribou stripe. And then we have the Nyala. Those will appear. But as soon as you get over to that stripe, even though it's in the caribou series, it's not going to show up. So I'm going to take that off, just so you can see this pretty caribou marking here on the neck. And we're going to now go over to show you here the wildebeest. So wildebeest, this is version 1, and then we have version 2. So again, you have that fallow spots that show up. I'm going to take that off so you can see the back marking there. And we'll put that back on. And that is the wild series. So we'll take that off and we will put back on dominant black. So now we have our character back here. And just to remind you, this is agouti, no liver, no blue dilute. It has a mask, it has cream, no dominant black. We now have the Nyala marking, no caribou marking, no wild. So this is where we are so far. So now we're going to get over to leopard spots. So leopard spots, anything with a capital L, you're not going to see show up. The first one that we get down here is LH. So LH is going to stand for head markings. And you can see the head marking appear there. So LH just means head marking, nothing else. Now we're going to get over to LHLB. So this is head marking and back. So now you're going to be able to see this here. And then same with LHLA or LG. It's going to switch to head and legs. And then finally head and tail. Now you can switch through these differently. So you can go back and legs. You can go LB full, or sorry, LBLF. So it's just going to be the back. Or you can go all the way down to the bottom here and put LFLF. This is going to give you all the markings. So you have head, legs, back, tail. So we're going to leave that on there and we're going to get over to tail markings. So the tail markings, depending on the breed, you can see better or you can't see them really well at all. So with the tail markings, I'm just going to get this set up here. The first one we're going to look at is RI. So RI is going to give you this slight stripe here and a black tail. You still can see, if you look really closely, that you can see the spots here. So RI stands for impala tail. So this gene gives characters a dark colored tail with a stripe down the side of the hip. So again, anything with RI is going to give you automatically that tail. So if you go to RD, this is going to be a dull tail. So it's just going to result in a dark tail. You have like a little bit of a stripe here that you can barely see because we're already on a black base. So even if you switch over to a dilute, you're still just going to be able to see like a little bit there. So this one here, it's very hard to see. So RE is going to be your reverse dull tail. So where we had like a dark, fully colored tail before, this is going to give you a complete white tail. And you see here, it's just going to go through right back down to no tail marking. Now I'm going to leave the tail marking off for the sole purpose that we're now getting over to white spotting. So white spotting currently has two different markings, and they're both versions of white Irish. So let's show you what the white Irish is. So this is our white spotting series. So you're going to see this little patch of white come up here on the chest. Now for the other version, you're going to get the full white Irish effect. And white Irish is this blaze up the face and the neck marking going down to the bit of the belly here, and a bit on the legs and the back feet here and the tail tip. We will be coming out with more versions of the white Irish. It's just for right now, we're still testing everything out and trying to get everything ready for the final release. ETA, that's still like, we don't have one yet. But I just wanted to show you that here. And the last marking that I'm going to show you is the undersides. So the first underside marking that we're going to show you is the white belly. So that's UBW. So that's just going to add an extra bit of white here. So you can kind of bring back that white Irish all the way back to the back leg. Now, let's go here and we're going to go capital UU. So this is going to give you complete undersides. I'm going to take off the white so you can see it. So this is going to go from the neck all the way back, stripe on the tail, give you black undersides. Now the underside is going to give you the color of the base. So right now we have a black base on this dog. If you change it to lowercase bb, it's going to be a liver underside. Same thing if we change it to lowercase dd in addition with that, it's going to be Isabella. Take off liver, you're going to get a blue underbase, or underside. And the next one I'm going to show you is capital UB. And this is a black belly. So this is the same thing as the white, it's just in the color black. And eventually we will be adding in a full white undersides. We just haven't done that yet. We still got a lot of things to do for this. So I'm going to leave on the white underbelly, and I'm going to put back on the white Irish. And another thing to notice here is that white is the most dominant visual marking. So nothing appears over white, white appears over everything else. So that's why you don't see the leopard markings over top of it, you don't see the agouti over it, you don't see the mask, or we don't have a tail marking on, but that's why you see that here. Because if we switch this to, let's see, yep, there we go. Covers everything but that little white tip. And we can have a full white tail. Let's leave it a full white tail. All right, so this is all the markings here. The last thing I'm going to show you is the eye color. So the eye color, you have quite a few different options here. Anything with a capital E, that's going to leave you at a standard amber eye, which we currently have. So if you go to EIA, again, that's going to be amber because it has the A. And then we're going to get to EIB. So here we have a blue-eyed dog. Oh, actually, this is amber. This was the default brown, the capital EI. My apologies. So EI, default brown, EIA is amber, and then we have E. I keep saying EI, it's EY. My apologies. So EYB is blue, and then we have hazel, which is kind of a brown with green, and then we have white. So for me, I'm going to pick hazel because I like that one the best. And then you're going to select a name. So just put whatever there. Test Jaro. And you're going to click left on the image itself. I'll do that again here. You can't see, but it's asking, are you sure you want to create this character? And I'm just going to hit cancel. So that is everything you need to know about the Jaro currently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one for each of the species, so this is not a terribly long video, because I believe we're already at about 24 minutes here. All right, so thank you very much for watching this video, and hope you enjoy creating your character on the site.